Hi, welcome to Kral Space. This is episode 3. I am Kim Kral, and I am reporting to you not live, but in my closet. It's been a really big day, guys. It's been a really big day. Someone waxed her own vagina today. I actually waxed my armpits, my arms, and my legs, and then my vagina. It's been a hairy month. I've decided I wanted to let all of my hair grow out. To see what would happen. Like, I wax my vagina once a month, but I have this lovely woman in Glendale named Stacy who does it. Oh, Stacy, I miss her. Man, after today, I have such a different I already appreciated her quite a bit. So Stacy's been waxing my vagina for like 10 years, which is the longest relationship my vagina has ever had. We should play a drinking game while you listen to this episode. How many times I say the word vagina, you should do a shot. No, that's dangerous. Don't do that. I'm going to say the word vagina a lot. Vagina. So, I've been going to Stacy for like 10 years, and like, it's super, like, so it's in Glendale, and and I started going 10 years ago, so I was like looking for a cheap option. So it's super cheap, and it's a little sketchy. Like, it's not sketchy, like, I don't know. I'm like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But like, it's like in the back of a nail salon in Glendale. And then, I get my nails done there too, which is nice. Also, fun hot tip, if you ever see me out and about, if my nails are done, that is a clue. I don't think that's the thing. That tells you that my vagina has also been done. If my nails are like not painted and like long and janky, that means my vagina is a real jungle down there, my friends. It is a big furry bush. Actually, I've been waxing for so long, it's really not that hairy. In fact, it's funny. Every time I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I kind of let this go a little longer than I should have. She's like, oh, I work in Glendale. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, I didn't know what that meant for the longest time. And then, so Stacy's been waxing my vagina for years. And then she was out of town, like, I don't know, like last year or something like that. Like, she's from Vietnam. So when she goes out of town, she's out of town for like a month because she goes home. And so it's not like she's gone for the weekend, I can wait till Monday situation. It's like, oh, when she goes to Vietnam, I have to use somebody else there. So last year it happened that she was out of town when I needed my vagina waxed. Drink. And so her colleague, Quinn, was like, I can do it. And I've known Quinn for a long time too, because I go to this place like once a month or whatever. So I've known all these ladies forever. And so it was like, yeah, which was a little weird because it was like, I don't know, just like introducing someone new to your vagina. It just seems, it's a brightly lit room, like, you don't know, you know what I mean? Like, they give you a towel, but like it's a pretty intimate experience. And like, I've gotten used to Stacy, and like, I don't know. Stacy and I have gotten used to like the comfortable in silence while she like rips hair out of my vagina. Or like we'll talk for a few minutes and then like I'll zone out and she'll rip hair out of my, like, it's not like in the new situations, I feel like I have to like force small talk or like awkwardly ramble about nothing. And I was just like, fuck, I don't know how bad I want to do this, but desperate times. Also, once you get on a waxing schedule, like this is the schedule of the wax. And that's why I decided to wax my own vagina today, because I was like, quarantine be damned. I'm not getting off this schedule. I've been so fucking consistent with so it's like the first 2 weeks, like the first week of a wax, your vag is just magic, right? It's just like bare and beautiful. And sorry if any of my family is listening to this. Bull, it's gonna be weird for you. Not weird for me, probably weird for you. So first week, it's pure magic. Second week, it's still really magical. It's still bare, like it's beautiful. It's just like a wonderful bare mound. Yuck. And then the third week, it's like starts to grow back, but like it's not bad. Like it's not like hairy. It's just like, it just like kind of starts to grow back. And then by the fourth week, when it's going to grow back, you get your period. So you're on your period, your hair's growing back, everything, you're kind of out of order anyway. So you're just like, whatever, man. And so the whole thing's a disaster for a week. And then once your period ends, you go into Stacy and she rips it off for some more pure magic. So my period ended a couple of days ago, and I was like, I am going to wax this vagina. Vagina is what I just said. But let's get back to Quinn real quick. So Quinn has to wax my vagina, and I was so nervous. I was like, just don't be weird. Just don't be weird. I mean, that's something I whisper to myself. I mean, I haven't whispered that to myself in a while because I've been alone in my apartment. But when I'm out and about in the world, like probably, oh man, I'm going to say a dozen times a day, I'm like, don't be weird. Don't be weird. Don't be weird. Don't be weird. Like, I don't know. A lot of people think I'm not from this planet. I am from planet Earth. I don't know. I had a weird childhood. How many times am I going to tell you guys that? Probably a lot. But like, so I just don't know certain, like, I don't know. I feel like I say shit that everyone else is thinking, or I have questions that people are like, oh, I didn't think about that. So I'm glad you asked, because now I know, right? So it actually, Quinn, it became a nightmare because Quinn was so fucking delicate and wonderful with my vagina. It didn't hurt at all. She was like a flower. Like, it's not a great experience. Like, you're literally ripping hair out of your body, right? Like, and no matter how long you've been doing it, it's still, and she was just so gentle and it didn't hurt at all. In fact, it was like kind of relaxing. And then I was like, oh, don't get aroused. That'll creep everyone out. I didn't get aroused. I don't know why I told you that. But like, I was like, it was so, but then I'm like, well, you can't break up with Stacy because Stacy's been doing your vagina for 9 years at this point. So I couldn't be like, yo, while you were out of town, Quinn did it and she was nicer about it and I want to go back to her. So every time I walk in there to get it done, I look at Quinn and I just like longingly think about her touching my vagina. Not in like a sexy way, but maybe. I don't know. She's delicate as fuck, dude. So I don't know. I have a new appreciation for like the only thing. Okay, so I waxed my armpits first. I was like, all right, well, I figured that one would be painful because I shave my armpits all the time. So the hair is like a little bit more coarse. And then I was like, that'll be a little bit more painful and awkward. So let's get like the painful, awkward one out of the way. And it was. Out of the 5 body parts that I waxed, my legs were kind of boring, so I still have to go back to do that, but it's just so sticky. The whole thing's so sticky. This is so like the armpits, and also I'm going to post them on my Instagram, how hairy my armpits are. I don't want to get banned from Instagram. I thought about taking a picture of my hairy vagina, but I didn't want to get banned from Instagram or put on a timeout or something like that. I don't know, whatever. But I am going to put some photos of my beautiful hairy armpits on my Instagram. My cat is pounding on the wall. I don't know if you can hear him. I'm in my closet and it's like, I don't know, it's like the other room, but he pounds on the wall when he after he poops. So people come over and they hear this loud, I don't want to do that to my neighbor, but pounding, and they're like, what is that? I'm like, oh, Henry just pooped. I don't know why he does that. He just gets done and he just starts pounding on the wall, and he usually doesn't stop until I tell him, but we'll see what happens. So I was like, I'm gonna wax my armpits. I didn't leave. It's glorious, man. I mean, it fucking hurt. It really hurt, and it was kind of long, so the wax got all like tangly and sticky, and I had to keep reheating the wax. I videoed it too, so I don't know if I'm going to post it on the Instagram. We'll see. If you want me to post it on my Instagram, DM me. If I get enough DMs that are like, I would like to see this video, then I'll post it. It's like 12 minutes. It took me 12 minutes to do one armpit. It was so painful. But then you realize, like, I think what makes it the most painful is that you're like anticipating it because you know you're going to do it, right? Oh, it's so glorious. My armpits feel so pretty. I can't wear deodorant for like 24 hours, but that's fine. I've been wearing deodorant in quarantine. I thought about seeing if I could get used to not wearing it, because apparently if you don't wear it for a long time, your body adapts and then you don't sweat or stink. But I don't know, man. I've been letting all my hair grow out. I didn't know how bad I wanted to just sit in my own like BO. Yuck. This whole episode, by the way, is probably just going to be too much information. Probably like TMK. But I'll probably be able to figure out a way to really tell you too much. So I So I got my armpits done, and that was awesome. After it was done, it hurt really bad. It's still, and it bled. There was a lot of blood. Not like pouring amounts of blood, but like, I don't know, like little specks of blood. I put that in the video too. So then I moved on to my arms. And my arms aren't, like, my arms used to be like hairy. Like when I was like, I don't know, from the time I got hair to like I was 18, it was like black, thick hair, and I was always so self-conscious about it. And then I met my best friend from college, Amy, my lady best friend from college, Amy, and she shaved her arms. And I was like, doesn't it grow back thicker if you shave them? And she was like, who gives a shit? Once you start shaving them, are you going to not shave them? Like, did you choose not to shave your legs? And I was like, oh my God, she's right. And I'm debunking that right now. I've been shaving my arms for 20 years almost. And the hair's extremely thin. In fact, it's even grown back. It's like light. I've been letting it grow for like a month. It's light. It's blonde. It's not blonde. That's a bold-faced lie. Sorry. But it's light. It's light. And so I waxed my arms, and it just kind of felt like, remember when you were a kid and the Indian burn that you would give? Oh, those things hurt. But it was just like more annoying pain than anything, like a tattoo. Like if you have a tattoo, I only have one, and it hurt, but it wasn't like painful. It was just like annoying. You know what I mean? Like someone tapping you over and over again with a needle. It's like, cool it. So and it was tedious, the whole situation. So then I was like, all right, I'll go down to my legs, but I was running out of time, and it tuckered me out, man. It was a full day. It was like 3 hours of waxing. I was covered in wax. I'm so tired. And so I only waxed maybe 1/4 of one leg, and I was just like, oh man, I'm just going to get to the vagina. The vagina. It was, I mean, like, it was less painful than when Stacy does it, but we've already established she's a little, sometimes she also gets it going about her neighbor. There's like a neighbor guy who owns a store next door to her nail shop, and like, I guess he smokes by the window, and sometimes she gets really mad about it while she's waxing my vagina when she's telling me about it, and she's just ripping the hair out and yelling about him, and I'm like, yo, we could talk afterwards if you want, if you need to get it off your chest, but like maybe don't scream while you're ripping hair out of my vagina. It's real rough. It's a rough situation to be a part of. Yeah. But I have like, it took me like an hour. It took me an hour to wax my vagina, and I don't have that much hair anymore. Like I've been doing it for 10 years. I am telling you, if you're like on the fence about waxing and you're like, I don't know, it's painful. It's really painful the first time you do it. It's because the hair is like coarse and it's probably really thick. And it's a full-blown nightmare. I'm going to say I have the pains I've had in my life, and I'll tell you these stories too. These stories are a lot of fun. The pain I've had. The pain I've had in my life, I broke my wrist. I dislodged a disc from my vertebrae, and I got a kidney stone, or kidney stones, and waxed my vagina. No, the kidney stones, dude, those things, I don't, they say it's like birth. I don't know, man. I want to meet someone who's been shot, stabbed, has had kidney stones, and has given birth. I met a woman, I sometimes tell jokes in rehabs. My buddy owns a cool company. My buddy Zane owns a cool company called Laugh to Live, where he goes into different rehabs and with comics, and we tell jokes, and it's really cool. Give him a little like on Facebook, follow his Instagram and check out the business. It's really rad. But I came close one time in a rehab. A woman had been shot, had a baby, and had kidney stones. She'd never been stabbed before. She said the baby was the worst one. The baby! Are you fucking kidding me? Worse than getting shot? And those kidney stones, dude. Whew. So we'll get into that. We have plenty of time, friends. I thought the waxing vagina episode would be so much longer, because it was, real letdown, actually. But the first time you wax your vagina, it's up there in the most pain I've ever felt. I would say it was worse than the broken wrist. The broken wrist was only worse just because it was like a longer thing, and like when you wax your vagina, it's like 20 minutes. But whoo, it was bad. But then after the second time, it grows back lighter, and it's not as coarse, and it's not pleasant, don't get me wrong, but it's not horrible. And so I thought it was going to be really, really hard to do it because it was going to be so painful. It wasn't really painful. It was just really annoying. Like, Stacey, I get why they have to become estheticians to do it. Like, it's like there's like a skill to it. And you're supposed to wax along where the hair grows. You're supposed to wax with the hair growth, if that makes sense. Like painting it down, I think, almost. And I thought it would be like, pretty easy to figure out where, like, my hair just like cuckoo banana grows everywhere. Like, it's just like, blah, 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 like, it's not, there's no rhyme or reason. So I was trying to comb it. It wasn't, I don't know, dude. It was annoying. And then at one point the wax got too cold. So then it all clunked up and then I had to start over. It tuckered me out. And I didn't even really try my asshole. I know. Okay, so I had this boyfriend when I was 20. We had this argument, not argument. He was like, yeah, everyone has hair on their ass. And I was like, gross. I don't have hair on my ass. He's like, Kim, everybody has hair on their ass. And I was like, no. Which is funny because that guy was down by my ass like way more than I ever was. Like his whole head was. His head wasn't in my, you know what I'm trying to say. Like he was down there and like I've never put my head by my butt before. I can't physically. Jesus. But like, and then I got my vagina waxed for the first time, and then they told me to like turn over so they could wax my butt, and I was like, oh my god, we do have ass crack hair. That's tomorrow's feat. I'm gonna try and wax that tomorrow, but it's, you gotta be, I mean, like, I'm pretty flexible, like, and man, it's just so sticky and tedious. And then you miss like one hair and you're just trying to get the other hair, and then you pull out the tweezers and there's scissors involved. There was so much. Like, Stacey does it in 20 minutes. Totally worth buying it. And I still go to the cheap salon. That's a little sketchy. It's not that sketchy. Like, I've been going to it for 10 years, so I've obviously not ever caught anything. Obviously, I've never. So there you have it. I might cut my own bangs tomorrow, too. So tomorrow's agenda, laundry, cut my own bangs, and wax my asshole. Those are the 3 things I'm going to do tomorrow in quarantine. I think that's a pretty full day. If it's anything like today, I am so tired. Like, that waxing, man, I'm really proud of these armpits. If anything, I'm going to continue to wax my armpits. Oh, so great. So great. I was like, while I was doing it today, I was thinking about like my vagina over the years, like my, the various haircuts I've given it. So when I first started getting pubic hair when you're like 16 or whatever, I was friends with this older girl named Brandy. Fucking Brandy. I wonder if she'll ever listen to this. I think we're friends on Facebook. I don't know. She was a fucking character, dude. She was she used to like she was older than all of us, so we'd hang out with her, and so like all of us were like 16, like 3 or 4 of us, and then she was like 18 or 19. And she used to just like boss the other girls. She didn't like me too much because I never put up with her bossing. Like, she'd boss us around and yell at us, threaten to beat us up all the time. But she had a car, so everyone was like, I guess we'll put up with it. And I was like, I'd rather not have any friends. But before I stopped hanging out with her, she was like, you need to shave your vagina. You need to shave it. Which is so funny because like, I didn't want anybody to know. I'm like, I don't even think I'd kissed a boy at that point. Like, I was such a late bloomer that I was like, yeah, for sure I should be shaving my pubic hair. I barely just started shaving my legs. My underwear goes up and over my fucking head, meaning it was like just big ass granny panties. Like, I wasn't, getting naked with any high school boys. And flat as a board. I mean, just flat as a board. Like, just nothing. I mean, I don't even think, like, the nipples weren't even like I can't believe I'm describing to you what I look like as 16 naked. And I was missing most of my teeth. Not most. I was missing like 2. So like your front teeth and then your canines, and then you have the 2 in between your front teeth and your canines. I don't have those teeth. I was born without them. I had the baby teeth and then they fell out, and then the permanent teeth didn't come in. Apparently it's hereditary in females. Like, my mom doesn't have them. My aunt doesn't have them. And then it's also hereditary in female horses too. So I don't know why. And it really sucks because it's not like, insurance doesn't cover the surgery because it's aesthetic. Like, you don't need those 2 teeth. Like, so really, I think that we've just evolved, my mom's side of the family, the women on my mom's side of the family, we evolved because it's like the people who are going to be born without their baby toes. So we don't need those. They're not important. And then evolution one time will eventually take those out. So I think evolution was trying to take out our teeth. At least that's what I would tell myself. So I was missing those teeth, and I had like a little flipper. So I had false teeth that I could like take out of my head. Oh man, those were a good time. Those were really fun. I hung out with the popular girls for just like a hot minute. Not very long. They were a lot cooler than I was. And I remember, so we're all sitting and we're having lunch, and like I tried to be quiet most of the time, I think, because it was just like, be cool, Kral, be cool. Like, don't be weird, don't be weird, don't be weird. And so this girl, Lonnie Reno, she's so popular, so pretty, like just like blonde hair, blue eyes, like the tiny, like the boobs already at 16. Like she looked like she was like prima donna, like hot 22-year-old, hot 16-year-old, right? And just like so cool and so proper and just like not a weird bone in her body. Which, I mean, now that I'm an adult, I'm like, oh, thank God, I love being this way. But like back then, it was just like, man, I would have killed to be that way. Like she dated like the popular basketball player. And so I found myself sitting at lunch with her one day. And we brought up my teeth and how I didn't have the 2 teeth and how I was wearing like the false teeth. And I think I should have been more embarrassed about those than I was. Like I was like, I thought it was pretty funny, and I thought it was pretty exciting. So like really cool popular girl Lonnie Reno asked me, she's like, so like they come out of your mouth or whatever? And I was like, yeah. So I like pulled them out, show her my teeth, and she stares at them for a really long time, and the only thing I could think of to say, I was like, did you want to try them on? And she was like, no, I don't want to try on your false teeth. And then I put them on my head and made a face because I didn't know what else to do. And I don't think I was asked back to that table the next day. It's all right. Those broads were kind of boring. I don't want to, by the way, like me as an adult, like Kim Kral now, I don't want to hang out with people who wouldn't put their false teeth on their head. Like if I ever missing my teeth again, I'm taking those fuckers and I'm wearing on my head all the time. Like people who think that that's weird, I am good to not hang out with you. So back to Brandy and my pubic hair. That was a fun little sidebar. My hope for this podcast, because like that's how my brain is. My buddy says my brain is like jazz. I don't know what that means. I think he was trying to insult me, but I'm gonna take it as a compliment. So my brain bops around a bunch, and so hopefully we all can keep up. If you can't keep up, hopefully you'll still listen. I don't know, keep up. It won't be hard. We were talking about Brandy earlier. Remember Brandy, the one who's kind of an asshole, who's older than all of us. Also weird, she didn't have friends her own age. And I played with dolls and had a lot of pubic hair and big underwear, so she was teaching me how to shave my pubic hair for some reason. And that's not even the weirdest part. The weirdest part, and that we all just blanketly accepted for years. And I don't even think like a couple of my high school friends came to visit a couple months ago in LA, and I don't even think I asked them then. Like I think we just like blanketly accepted. And this, I'm always constantly afraid of like what's gonna offend someone. Brandy taught all of us to shave our oh Jesus, I just fell in my closet. We're gonna keep that. We're not gonna edit that out. My microphone's all over the place. All right, I will amp up again. Just give me 1 minute. Oh boy. Okay. We're back. I fell, dropped the microphone. This is raw. Okay, so Brandy taught all of us, and again, we just blanketly accepted this. Just blanketly, we're like, yeah, she told us, and she called it this. She's like, you're gonna shave everything but a little mustache on top of your clitoris. It's gonna look like Hitler's mustache, and they call it the Hitler. So from 16 to like I went to college, I had a Hitler mustache across my vagina, like where like the opposite of a landing strip. So you know how like maybe she just mixed it up. Like maybe she like thought that she was teaching us a landing strip and then like rotated it, because it was like a rotated landing strip, but it just looked like a tiny little Hitler mustache, and that's what she called it. And all of us just went, that sounds reasonable. That is what we should do. We will shave all of our hair off. Jesus, why is this happening? I'm gonna try and fix this because we're not stopping. I'm not stopping. Usually though, I stop to check to see if there's a man staring at me. in my bedroom with a potato sack hat on. That's my fear. That and Darth Vader. I'm super afraid of Darth Vader and Johnny Depp, but no one understands that one. Darth Vader at least could kill you with his mind. Johnny Depp's just creepy. So that was my first pubic hair, the Hitler. And then I got to college, and I can't remember who, probably my friend Jenny she was the one who kind of taught me a lot of stuff about, she taught me that it was okay that my boobs were small. She taught me that it was okay to masturbate. She's listening. She's probably loving that I'm telling this, but like I as I said, I was a really late bloomer, and I hooked up with the very first guy I'd ever like hooked up with, sophomore year of college. Like I'd never really been like naked at all with any guy. I blew a dude in high school, but that's another story, for another time, man. Jesus. But like, I'd never like been naked myself. So I was like naked with this guy, John. He was my neighbor, full-blown nightmare, full-blown fucking nightmare. I was so self-conscious, and he's fingering me, and it hurt so bad. The whole experience was very terrible. It hurt. It wasn't fun. Then, I think we cuddled for a minute afterwards, and I was just like, well, that sucks. And so I went and talked to my friend Jenny, and I was just like, I think our friend Kristen was there too, the one who drank too. If you listened to the last episode, we would always trick into not being able to drink because she was a shitty drunk. We were like sitting around my apartment one afternoon, and I like told him how I like fooled around with John, and I was just like, I didn't like it. It wasn't fun. Like it hurt a lot, and they knew I was a virgin, but like I was like it like was painful, and it was like not, and like even when he wasn't like inside of me, the whole thing was just really awful. And they were like, well, do you know what you like? And this, like, swear to God, this fucking changed my whole life, obviously. I was like, well, what do you mean? And we had an old roommate who used to masturbate all the time, and we'd tease her a lot. Sorry, you know who you are. We bullied you, dude. Like, they were like, we know we tease her all the time for doing that, but like, truthfully, like, we all masturbate, and you should too. And I was just like, oh, I don't even know how to do that. So they drew me a little picture. They drew me like a stick figure picture on how to do it. And I was just like, and I lived at the with the fraternity brothers at the time, and this girl, Sarah, and I was just like, well, they're always there, and they're always there with like 19 of their brothers. And so they were like, well, just wait till, try and like wait till there's just a few of them there, and like do it in the shower, like take a shower and do it in there. And they were so nice about it. Like, they were like, you're not going to orgasm right away. Like, it's going to take time for you to understand what your body, and like totally changed my life. And eventually, after a couple of times, I had an orgasm. So I'm probably guessing Jenny probably told me to shave the whole thing. She probably didn't, who knows? But a lot of my growth in those years, I attribute to Jenny. A lot of them, yeah. We used to tan and work out. God, that girl was awesome. And so then there's this guy who is my next pubic hair project. There's this guy, and I still think about him. I was so mean to him. His name is Matt. He liked me so much, and truthfully, I was just scared. He was a good dude, and I was just scared of intimacy. That's so vulnerable, really, but like, I was just really scared of any good guy, and it's actually taken me decades. I'm just now getting past that, like last episode I talked about that shitty dude I dated for a while. Like, so I was just scared, and he was just such a good dude, and he liked me so much. And I think we're friends on Facebook now. I thought about reaching out and apologizing, but he's like married with kids, and I'm sure he's probably like, girl, I don't give a fuck anymore. But so he was a year younger than me, and when he came in, he really liked me. And one night we were at a party, and I told him that I had shaved my pubic hair into the star shape. I think that's what did it, by the way. I told him I had a star shape on my vagina and drink, and he followed me around for the next like 2 or 3 years, like was just like in love. And so then I was like, well, I don't really have a star, but I feel like if I ever am going to show this guy my vagina, I probably should have a star. That was hard. That was hard to get that star. And it wasn't a cute star. Like, my hat's off to those vagina artists. I don't know if they have them other places, but I think in LA they have like, you can like wax a strawberry in or something, like dye the hair. That was popular like 5 years ago, I think. I don't know. But so like, So basically I like drew a star on, like I grew out the hair for a little bit, enough to where I had like something to work with. I can't, this is just the evolution of my vagina's haircut is what I'm going to call this episode. Maybe, I don't know. But so I got out a pen and a ruler and I like measured out a star on my vagina and, measured it out. And then I like kind of trimmed around it to make sure, like, so it was like a little bit hairier on like in the star and less hairy. And then I like slowly shaved around the star. It was not pretty. And maybe that's when I was like, oh, I can never show Matt my vagina. 'Cause this star, I looked like a fucking 2-year-old drew it. It was so, and I carried it. I had it for a while because I was like, well, it took so much effort to do. And I was like mildly proud of it, but it didn't look great. And then I moved to LA and, oh, my friend Amy and Valerie in college, they got laser hair removal. And one of my biggest regrets in life, like I have like 5 solid regrets in life. And one of them is that I did not go with them to get laser hair removal. Like I had some like bullshit job. My dad was paying for college and I was donating my plasma twice a week for beer money. Like I had like not a lot of money, but it was like 20 years ago. So it was probably way cheaper to get a hair laser removed. Plus I had just $100 a week to just like do nothing with besides buy Keystone Light. And now Amy shows me her vagina like 3 years ago and she's like, yeah, sometimes I have to shave a little bit off, but it's like baby hair. 20 years that shit lasted. I think that's the next move for like current Kim is to get laser hair removal. But I don't know, it's a big time commitment. But thinking about the apocalypse and like watching The Walking Dead, like maybe just getting it all done. That way you're just not like stuck in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of this like, maybe a cooler apocalypse than what's happening right now, like with zombies. And then you meet Rick and then you're like, oh, but like my armpits are pretty hairy, man. But if I get them all laser removed right now, I don't know. So I moved to Los Angeles and I find out that you can wax your vagina. I had this older woman friend like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and she had this like old Russian woman in the back of a hair salon. I don't know what's with me in salons with getting my vagina waxed at. Maybe that's where everyone goes. I don't know. But so she told me to go there. And that woman was just like this abrasive, angry Russian woman. And I went to her for a couple of years. And and it was so painful. And then I let it grow out. And then I found Stacy, my love Stacy. She, I don't know. She's a little painful sometimes. And I long for Quinn, but I don't know. Today it wasn't that painful. I will say this in my One Lucky Broad. I do my One Lucky Broad segment, which is where I am one lucky broad, where I talk about something I'm grateful every episode. And I gotta say, I'm grateful for my pain tolerance. I'm really grateful for my pain tolerance because like a lot of people messaged me when I announced I was gonna do this and they were like, oh my God, that's so painful. How are you gonna do it on your own? It wasn't pleasant, but it was fine. Like it was, so I'm grateful I have a high pain tolerance. You can probably attribute that to my mean dad. He never hit me, but if like I fell down, it was like, deal with it. What are you, little girl? Don't cry. That's so sad. That's such a weird, sad, dark thing to add in the middle of this episode. But like over the years, I have so many stories where I've been caught with just like the hairy vagina. Like it's like finally, like rarely are you with a guy that you really like or like a dude and you're like, oh, my vagina is pristine. Like, unless you're, like, in a dating situation, like, any guy I've dated, and then, it's, like, clear it's going to go into a relationship, and we do the whole, like, couple dates, and then 3-date thing, and blah, blah, blah. That you can really prepare for, because it's like, okay, we're probably going to have sex this day. I'll make sure. Or the various long-distance relationships I've had over the years, like, they're like, oh, I'm flying in this day. So, like, you can, like, pretty much plan for those. Sometimes you meet a dude, and you're just going to bang, and you just are like... This guy, I'm going to tell this story. I tell this story a lot, and I wonder if it'll ever catch up with me. He is the second most famous person I've ever had sex with. The second most. It's such a douchey thing to say, and I won't tell you his name. Sorry. That that dies with me. And then the first famous one, he's like some music producer. I didn't even know that he was famous until someone, like we were like friends. And then someone's like, and I'm also not going to say his name, but, cause I don't kiss and tell. I kiss, tell, but I don't out their names. It's all anonymous. But yeah, I didn't even know. People were like, oh my God, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, he's really nice. How do you know him? He's actually the most famous guy I ever had sex with. He was actually my customer at Big Wang's for years. And then we had sex. But so the second most famous guy I ever had sex with, such a douchey thing to say, but he is a comedian. And all right, so one night we're like texting, and one night we're texting, and he's like, oh, come over. And I was like, yeah. So that's I'm gonna fuck. I'm never like that, by the way. I'm never a person that's like, yeah, I wanna fuck. That's my dude voice. But I was like, yeah, he's cute and I want to. So I go over there, but then like we start making out, and then I'm realizing, I'm like, oh my God, my vagina is so hairy. I mean, not even that time I wasn't like on my like pristine schedule. I was like, I was just flying loose and whatever. Sometimes I'd wax it, sometimes I wouldn't. Who gave a fuck, right? But so I find myself in this dude's apartment, and I'm like, oh man, we're making out. And I was just like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this. And he's like, what, why, what happened? And I was like, I haven't waxed my vagina in a while. And this dude looks at me dead in the eye and goes, what am I, 12? And then sticks his hand in my pants and goes, I don't give a fuck. And then we were off. And then I went to the bathroom first, because sometimes, you should go to the bathroom before you have sex, because you don't want to get a UTI. And also after sex. So I go to the bathroom, and I come back, and he's fully naked, covered in baby oil. From head to toe, covered. Dude, when I went to the bathroom, dude pulled out baby oil and covered himself in baby oil. Whew. So then I was like, I don't know what's happening here, but I can't put that inside of me. I was like, I'll get an infection. Like, it's not good for you to put baby oil inside of your vagina. So he like, embarrassed, rightfully so. He like wiped down his dick, but he's still shiny as fuck. And then we have sex. And it's not, you can imagine it probably wasn't anything to write home about, because, he covered himself in baby oil. What a weird fucking bizarre thing, right? Like, just what a weird, I don't know. I've seen some weird shit in my life having sex, and like that probably takes the cake. I had a guy one time puke after he masturbated in front of me. That was pretty fucking weird. But yeah, the baby oil probably be, I don't know. That ties. Maybe we'll do a poll. But so then we have sex, and then he's done. And then he cuddles with me, and he's like, I'm going to cuddle with you because I am an actor and I am the student of the human condition. Some shit like that. And then he had a table read the next day for his show he was on. So he was like, I need to read the first episode of, it was like season 2 or some shit. And he's like, I need to read the episode before I go in there tomorrow. He's like, will you help me? And I was like, yeah. So I assumed I was going to read the other parts, or like we'd split up the parts, or like he'd read in his scenes, I would read the other people. And he, I thought like I was going to help him. No, he wanted an audience. He read the entire episode, everyone's character in different voices, and then sang Taylor Swift to me for about an hour. I stayed. There are so many situations in my life that I look back on. I'm like, why didn't you just go home? Lyft exists. Like you weren't trapped. So we went to bed. We wake up in the morning, and I asked him, and I was like, hey, I was a new comedian, and he was a pretty established comedian, and I was just like, hey, do you think maybe we cannot tell anybody about this? And he's like, yeah, because fucking so embarrassing, is his name. He's like, that's so embarrassing. And I was like, no, it's not that. It's just like, I'm new. I don't want to get now I don't give a fuck. I've had sex with way too many comedians. That's something I shouldn't admit to, but it's true. But like and I was just like, oh, I'm new. I just don't want to be known as like the girl that's like banging her way around, And then he grabbed me and shook me and very upsettedly yelled, I should not have done so much cocaine last night. Didn't know that's what he had done before I came over, but I was just like, holy shit. So he gets me an Uber, and I go home, and I assumed I just would never see him again. Or I assumed we would never talk again about this. He texts me like 3 hours later, and he's like, hey, just want to make sure you got home okay. So at least he was sort of nice there. He's like, want to make sure you got home okay. And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I got home safe. Thanks for the lift or whatever. And then he goes, yeah, I was thinking about it. Like, I don't think we should tell anybody that we had sex. And I love it when dudes do this. Like, I'm like, yeah, I already said that. But he needed to feel like it was his idea because of his fucking ego. And I was like, okay, if that's how you feel. And he's like, yeah, I just think it's for the better. And I was like, totally understand, man. And then he wrote back, I feel like a spy. And I didn't know what to say, so I just didn't respond. And now every time I see him, he acts like he's trapped. Like, I'll be like, hey, what's up, man? And he'll be like, hey, and then he'll yell at the nearest comedian. He'll be like, John, I need to talk to you. I'm like, we don't have to talk. I'm fine. Yeah. If you can guess who that is, I'll tell you. I'll say yes or no. If you message me and you guess who it is, I'll tell. I've had one person on my Dash radio show guess, and I was like, whoa. But yeah, that was a hairy vagina moment. I also had a really padded bra on too. So as I said, I'm getting breast implants. So sometimes I don't wear a padded bra. It just depends on the shirt I'm wearing and if I want to fill it out more. But I don't love taking my shirt off for the first time like after I took off a big padded bra. Because it's like, here are my boobs. Oh, and then here are my boobs. Here are actually, like, you hand them the full bra and it's just like 5 pounds of just like not your boobs. Oh man. I'm supposed to do, I did a lot on my vagina today. I feel like this whole episode is going to be too much information. I do want to get to the poop scoop. I promised. I know some of you are like, you don't have to do it, but some of you are probably really excited about the poop scoop. And I can't remember if it's been 3 episodes and I already can't remember if I told this story, but we're going to do it anyway. Who knows? Because it's pretty funny. I sharted outside the improv. So here's this is your poop scoop for episode 3. I sharted outside of the improv on my way into lab work one Sunday night. And this is like a couple years ago. And there was a girl comedian, open micer. It's probably like 4 years ago, I'm going to say. She wanted to be my friend so bad. And even now, I'm like, why'd that bitch want to be my friend? Like, that girl we're opposite human beings. Like, she didn't drink, she didn't smoke, and I was a big smoker. I was a smoker at the time, and I was a big party girl at the time too. So like, I'm not really a big partier anymore, and I quit smoking like 3 years ago. So like, a big partier, big smoker. I still swear like a fucking chimney. I'm crass as fuck. This girl doesn't drink, smoke, swear, doesn't own pants. Let me say that again. Does not own pants. She only wears dresses. Even when she's at home, she has house dresses. Let me say that again. Even at home, she has house dresses. Like, I keep my deodorant in a pizza box that I sleep with. Like, why would this girl want to be my friend? I really don't do that. But like, she wanted to be my friend so fucking bad. And so she asked me to come to this lab work mic. And I was like, yeah. So I'm at my meter and I'm feeding my meter and I have to poop or fart. And I was like, oh, fuck. I don't know if it was a shart or if I just full blown pooped my pants. I don't know. It wasn't really that dramatic, so I say it's a shart. But like, it was like the meter wouldn't come up. Like, it wouldn't like say it was paid. And I have this like paranoia that like I just have an OCD. It has to say authorized. So like I was like waiting for it to say authorized. Let me just say before I get into the other thing, the reason why, and this is just like a hot tip for you guys, like you should wait till the meter says authorized too, because it says processing. I was a bartender for a long time, and this guy was sitting at my bar one day for like 4 hours. He became a good friend of mine, actually. And then he went to pay, and his card gets declined. And so then he calls his bank, and his bank had turned off his card because he had bought something random earlier that day, and they thought it was fraud. So he gets to his car and had gotten a ticket because his bank card was turned off, and he didn't check to make sure it was approved. So that's why I always check, and that's why I sharted there or pooped my pants. I think I just pooped my pants at that meter. So it was either like poop my pants and make sure I don't get a ticket, or run to the bathroom and maybe get a ticket. And I don't know, some people might have been like, I would risk the ticket. Like, I know the like not authorizing a meter is like something that would happen like 1 out of every 4 billion times. So A regular person would probably just run to poop, right? I didn't. I sharted, or pooped my pants. I don't know. It was pointed out to me recently that that's just pooping your pants if you know it's poop. It just wasn't dramatic. It wasn't a lot. It was just like, whoop. It was just like a little out, right? So I text the girl, and I was like, hey, girl, I'm going to be a little late. I sharted. Just give me a few minutes. So I go in. I mean, I like had wipes, and it wasn't that dramatic. I cannot believe I get to this point every episode. So I like, I'm in the improv bathroom, and I take out, like, I pull down my pants, and I take them off my pants, and I take off my underwear, and then I put my underwear at the bottom of the trash can. And I really wish I could say that was the last or first time I've put a pair of underwear at the bottom of a trash can. At least it was mine. Sometimes it's not. So I put it, I put it under there, and then I just like I had wipes. Like I have baby wipes that I keep in my purse just because, like, you know, I like having a fresh vagina. So I just wiped and, you know, went commando the rest of the night. So I go to this girl who wants to be my friend so bad. And again, and I'm like, sorry, girl, that was rough. I can't believe that happened. And she was like, I can't believe you're still here. I would run home and never tell a soul. I can't believe you she like scolded me. She's like, I can't believe you even told me. And I was like, I'm probably going to get on stage in a few minutes and like probably tell everybody in that building. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's funny. We've all had bathroom incidences. If you've never shit your pants, like, you're lying or your time is coming. Like, everyone in their lifetime is going to poop their pants. And that is the poop scoop for today. Oh, man. So we covered a lot today. I feel like we covered a lot. So my vagina it's not as nice as it is when Stacy does it. I actually am like, I'm pleasantly surprised that I have no ingrown hairs and it's as like smooth and pretty as it is after she does it. It just took like an hour, and it was like, it's hard to, like, you know, bend around the way you do. Like, she's like on top of it, and, you know, like, she's like, she can get her head right down in there. It's so weird. It's such a weird experience, the whole thing. Ugh. Every time I'm in there and she's like, you should see some women that come in here. Like, they are just hairy as fuck. So I'm really grateful for that too. Like, I'm one lucky broad because I got a hell of a pain tolerance, and I'm one lucky broad because, like, I'm just not that hairy of a broad. And, yeah, so I'm all bare now, except for my legs. That's a lie. Maybe the next time I will have waxed my legs. It's just so tedious and sticky. It's just so sticky. And I got legs for days. Like, I've got the longest fucking legs. And so, like, it's like the wax, I have to reheat it up every, like, 10 minutes. Oh, man. Well, guys, I don't know. I feel like I know that this is going to happen. Sometimes I'm like, what if we talked about the, oh, man, I can't even fucking... Oh, I want to leave you on this. So we're on like day like 30 or something like that of like quarantine, 27 or something like that. I don't know. You know, it's almost been a month. And like, my dreams have gotten so vivid. And is anybody else dreaming? And they're crazy dreams. They're not even like, normally I'm like, I have pretty vivid dreams and I remember them most of the time, but it's like, I can typically tell you what's going on in my life and why I'm having that dream, or like, it's typically transparent. I had a dream the other night. This is so weird. Such a weird thing to end on, but I had a dream the other night that I had 3 boobs. And like, but one was like tiny, and I don't know how to describe it. There was a woman who used to do my nails years ago before Stacy, and she used to have a second thumb on her thumb. I wish I could show you. There's no way to describe it. It was like her thumb had like an attachment that was also shaped like a thumb, and it had a little nail, and I stared at it the whole time. And that's what my 3rd boob looked like. It just looked like a little thumb coming out of the middle of my chest. But I was with this is a dream, mind you. But I was with a bunch of people, like, we were all quarantined together, and like, for some reason we all had to be topless. So none of us had shirts on. And this 3rd boob is like little, but it's like not little for long. Throughout the dream, it's growing and growing, and I'm trying to cover it up, and I don't know what to do. And then all of a sudden it reveals, I look even closer, and it's not a boob. It's a baby penis. It's not a micro penis. It's not like a man's penis. It's like a baby's penis in between my boobs. And it's just getting bigger and more evident that that's what it is. And more people are staring. And like, that was the dream I had the other night. And it's I don't know what that means. I tried to Google baby penis, like dreams about baby penis, and then it just said snakes. And so I don't know what that is. And now I feel like I need to just delete this entire episode. I said a lot of embarrassing things in this episode. I told you I was shit outside the improv in my pants, and the baby penis on my boob in my dream, I can't control those things. Oh man, I woke up, I was so creeped out all day. I wrote it down. I was like, I gotta tell someone about this. And I've been alone for, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So I want to hear, if you're listening and you want to DM me your dreams, I would love to hear them. Actually, that's a lie. I don't really, unless it's like something like that, tell me. You know what, when people are like, oh, I had the craziest dream last night. And I'm like, no one gives a fuck. No one cares about your weird brain. But this is my podcast, so I wanted to talk about my baby penis boob. What the fuck is that? It was so weird. I was so embarrassed too, and no one really seemed to care. Like, it was so evident, and it was getting bigger and bigger. Oh man, if you can interpret that, that's more what I want to know. DM me that. DM me if you can interpret that dream, or if you had a dream that a baby penis grew out of your body. That's the end of this episode, guys. You can find me on all the social media. I'm Kim Kral. It's KymKral. I have not live right now, but a radio show on Dash Comedy Radio. Dash Radio has a comedy station, Marcus King Presents. That is every Monday and Saturday, 7 to 9 p.m. A lot of really fun episodes, a lot of fun guests. We have a lot of really cool guests, so with various comics, so tune into that. I'm going to be announcing this tonight, so this is going to be a new episode every Wednesday of Crawl Space. Download it, subscribe, give me a rating, give me a review, DM me on Instagram if you can interpret my weird penis dream. That would be really helpful. It's really freaking me out, making me worried to go to sleep. And also DM me your shitting your pants stories. I love those. And as always, thanks for listening. Bye.